Start the show.
Welcome to episode 11.1, the playoff edition, I guess we're calling it. No guests today because it's just kind of quick notice, quick turnaround. We're going to jump right into what was I don't know, pretty deciding match.
No, let's just say first like how what did it why we actually said how to expect we did not expect a trio. Let's just say that.
No, I expected 3-1 CJ, and if I thought if KOO was going to win, it'd have to go to 5.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was all on that. I was like, yeah, 3-2 for KOO Tigers. I like to point out I was the only person who predicted KOO Tigers win no matter what.
Yeah,
But
you did.
that's true.
so
But I said with ambition they were gonna lose, so I kind of was right though because I used to.
yeah, but I think they could have put in Trick. I don't think it made a difference. I think it still would have won it, even 3-2.
Yeah,
Like,
that's probably true though.
The way they played, the game plan they had in mind was pretty phenomenal. The picks and bans for the Najin set and then this set is pretty outstanding.
Yeah.
But CJ also kind of like they had the option to pick good stuff. They just did.
yeah, like I think Coach Song is doing work. Like he is doing work with them pick and bans because from no face pick and bans to like but now Song's there and you see Song in the booth, his handsome ass face. It's like that team is doing work.
Yeah.
They just need more Najin people.
Yeah, like just need to like what it's like at this point. What other Najin players can they bring back? And now Coach McNoon, like or like like
No.
Coach. I mean the Coach Expression that's off the table because he's on IM. Coach Kane, or Coach. I don't know, like just more Najin coach, just more Najin on that team. They're going to be a better.
No, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna bring Zephyr in,
Oh God!
and he's
Oh,
gonna
God.
be starting 80 carry.
Oh God! Oh God! Not anything but Zephyr.
Alright.
They are buffing Lucian.
Yeah, let's see how that's stuff.
So yeah, let's just start off with game one. The bans pretty much were pretty much the same every time. Tons of mid bans
Yeah.
with maybe one, like we had the Kennen support ban. We saw an 80 carry, but like there were very few bans outside of mid lane. It was really targeted.
Yeah, I mean that was the most frustrating part is Space had no bans against him, and then he still picked all the wrong champions. It's like
That is true that Space had no bans against him, but I think in this series, the key defining theme for me was what happens to CJ Entus when Coco plays badly. Like that seemed to be for me like the kind of the running theme of it. You know what I mean? Like in game one, he got his game one he got Victor and didn't do a lot with it.
Not
Like,
well, he's not. He
it's not
hasn't
his-
really been too particularly great with Victor.
yeah, it's not
Yeah.
his best champion by far. I mean,
I don't think he did terrible, but you could see, like, when he was playing Victor, you could see he was not as comfortable when he plays Azir.
no, but you're still decent enough. I don't think that was the big issue of game one, to be honest.
I think
No,
the
but
issue
game
with
one was pretty close.
Shy and Space.
Yeah, I just think the second rotation, if they had picked Shen, they would have had an Evelyn Shen combination, which is sick for ganks, pressuring, and then they wouldn't have had the problem of getting constantly baited in and then getting channeled and turned around. Because fucking Space is dumb as hell. Like, oh my god.
I think in game one, KOO Tigers were really worried. No, sorry, CJ Entus were really worried about Shy getting counterpicked in top lane because of the kind of player that Smeb is. So, like, I mean,
The whole
in
series.
game, in game two, Shy played Shen and he got his fucking ass handed to him. Like, so I'm not sure if the Shen pick would have actually been that great.
Yeah,
like, I gotta
but
say.
game two was already decided in the bot lane. I don't think that had much to do with how Shy was doing on lane, to be honest.
Yeah, I just think they were worried about like a Shyvana pick or a Riven pick or something like that. So I think that they, I think it was a mistake to pick Evelyn. Sure, well, it was a mistake to play Ambition for starters.
Yeah.
I think it was a mistake to play Evelyn as well. But I just think that like, I don't think it was necessarily the Shen because Maokai into Shen is actually like a decent matchup.
Yeah, but it fucked them not having. I mean, fuck them KOO having the Shen, and they would be able to, because they're playing Vayne. If you have an extra Shen shield on Vayne, you can make so many more plays. And like the skirmishing would have been so much better, but they lost all the fights because the enemy had Shen and they didn't. And then even when they were almost winning, they just lost because more shields and stuff.
It is true that Shen does a lot for CJ just because it covers a lot of their weaknesses because you can't like first off like
Ambition gets got, channeled. Space
Yeah.
fucks up the positioning, channeled.
yeah
Problems,
and
man.
Coco wants to make a big play, Shen ults, like yeah like it's good in that sense, but I just think that
Yeah, but
if
they were
I think
worried.
I think their focus in game one was get Shy into a favourable matchup, and like you just get generally favourable matchups, and they had favourable matchups in like pretty much every lane.
Except that
Yeah, but I don't think like because of how much Gorillas roamed in the past, I don't think they thought that would be an issue.
no.
I don't think they were ready for this kind of 2v2
No.
gorilla prey.
Well, to be fair, they got this lane swap in the beginning though. Like Fane, I mean, Space actually had a lot of farms early.
I would have preferred the Shen because in team fights you could see Space just didn't have any room to enter into the team fight.
No.
He was too short range to really enter the team fights, or else he'd pretty much get destroyed.
Yeah.
But
And-
isn't that a problem with the Vayne then? And Space's ability to play Vayne?
Yes, but I mean, like, yeah, but again, with the Shen pick covers up what we were saying. Shen pick covers up a lot of CJ's weaknesses, and that is one of them. Is if you put Shen on the ult on Vayne, she can tumble in because you're gonna get a. As soon as he ports in, he's gonna taunt whoever is attacking the Vayne.
You get a
And
massive
you're
shield
gonna be able
and
to
your
use that-
tank is in
yeah.
front of your face, taunting people you want to kill. So
And I mean, Shy has a rather odd champion pool, and Shen has been like he was picking Shen before Shen was like in the meta and being really good.
yeah.
And I was just surprised that they put him on a Maokai when
I mean,
he's really.
If you
not
just
that-
think about how CJ beat SKT, which is, I mean, I think it was still overblown, but at least they did it, which is a lot more than other teams could say. How did they do it? They, first of all, used Trick 3 games in a row, which they didn't do
Yeah.
now, but whatever. They used a fuck ton of Shen and Braum. Where was the Braum? And where was all the
That's true.
Shen? Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
that's true.
okay. They picked game 2 a bit late. Game 1 was perfect for Shen, and then in game 3 it got banned, so at least KOO was thinking. But the Braum, opened the whole fucking series, never picked. Never.
Yeah, but what did Mad Life played Leona. Okay, yeah, I can't really excuse not picking Brandon.
Yeah, I
like-
mean, also you have the issue that they brought up on the stream is that Ambition really needs Thresh to keep him alive a lot of times.
Yeah, well, see,
'Cause he
the trick-
can't flank as well as he should.
But like game one, Mad Life played like Alistair, which I think is a better pick than Braum. So
Yeah, okay, game 1 it was fine, but I mean, when you go Ashe,
Where they picked it is my issue.
yeah, it's in a lot of different ways. I mean, you have that, and then the third thing is Space. Why would you pick Vayne? Like, they want to make it work, but Evelyn doesn't work for Ambition, even though it should, because it's not that fucking hard. And Vayne doesn't work for Space, so, I mean, I guess it was game 1, so it's like, oh, we have room, let's try it. But
I don't agree with Ambition or CJ Enters playing Evelyn in general because CJ Enters' strength is late game team fights, and Evelyn is not good in a late game team fight. Like she's
no,
you know,
yeah, so
she's
if
a
you
shit.
can flank, it's fine.
Yeah, honestly.
But he can't flank
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah, it's just but like what Evelyn's ultimately like a shitty tank with an AOE slow. Like I think there are better champions in a late game team fight.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it was always it's the same old Ambition question. Why didn't he play Nunu? Where was the Nunu? Why didn't he play Nunu? Like, but
I guess
you know,
was also like solid
you know,
shit.
I don't think that the Evelyn pick did him any favors at all. And I don't think CJ Enters should play Evelyn.
No, not at all. That was a big problem. And yeah, it's KOO is smart. Like, do not give CJ a 0, and it's gonna be hard to 1v5 that. I mean, it's pretty much the same that happened
give-
with TSM. I mean, except in game 4, because they at least can sometimes win. But I mean, if they don't have 0, it's a lot harder, and they can actually lose games. So yeah, same shit here, but KOO is smarter than that. But
So they denied Coco pretty much any kind of comfort they had. I mean, the Diana ban was strange, but when they brought up that he was playing it in solo queue, if he felt comfortable
I
on
was
that,
expecting Coco to play Diana, to be honest. So yeah, I wasn't like was like yeah, okay, the ban, okay, that's smart.
Yeah, they banned Diana in all 3 games as well. Like every time they put like 2 to 3 bans towards Coco, like they definitely knew what like this was a dismantling of CJ Enters by the KOO Tigers in the
Coco.
draft phase because they realized what the CJ Enters win conditions are. Coco gets fed and Coco carries, and they just fucking shut him the fuck down. Like there was a lot of mid lane focus on the ganks. There were like 4 to 5, like 3 to 4 like multi mid lane man ganks. And the bans as well, and then like so it just allowed Kuro to like kind of go even. He still went behind in a lane, but it didn't really matter because like
They
you know,
team fight way better.
yeah, they like GE Tigers really displayed like top quality team fighting in the series as well. Like, hats off to them for their team fighting. Like, it's it's just legit.
Well, I mean, the pick and ban phase they had, the ability to kind of take KOO out of his element, and I mean, Shy only has a few champions he can really play pretty well.
Yeah.
Is they're able to get through the lane phase, which has always been their issue. Like, they just fail at the lane phase sometimes when they can't get a lead or fall too far behind or can't even be even in some lanes. And they were really able to do that. They were able to punish the parts where CJ's not great at, space. And they were able to kill him multiple times in lane throughout the series, which is huge. That bait was amazing. That literally, like, when that happened, you're just, well, bottom lane's done.
Yeah, we also fucking see it happen because, like, don't do it, Space, don't do it, Space, don't do it, and he did it, and fucking died.
This was a bit of a like a Gorilla masterclass, really. Like, Gorilla really played like. He was the MVP of that whole series.
Yeah,
He really, really played well.
I agree with that. Gorilla was great. Like, his cannon was good, his Gen was good. Like, everything was just really on point from Gorilla again. Shaq.
I honestly think like the 3 best support players in the world is like Gorilla, Peekaboo, and like some other fucker I don't even know. Like, not compared to those.
Dude,
two.
watch that EDG series. Holy shit, PYL's Braum.
Oh yeah, like, PYL's good.
But
let's all remember what league PYL is playing. He's not playing in the real league, is he? Like, he's not a real. He's Chinese. He's not going to be that good. Let's be honest. He's not. Like, the masterclass support, Gorilla, Peekaboo. Those are the 2 guys carry a game.
Okay.
Also, Gorilla and Peekaboo, like, look at the quality of AD they're forced to play with. Look at the AD that PYL gets to play with.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Matter has to play with a shit AD. You don't do fucking shit compared to those guys. PYL has got Imp, like, what, maybe like a top 2-3 ADC in the world. Fucking Gorilla's got fucking Prey, a guy I've been good since like early season 3, really, even though he played well in this series. And like fucking Peekaboo's got fucking Arrow. Like, Arrow wouldn't be allowed to play in China. Like, even LSPL teams go, actually the Arrow guy's a bit shit. Actually, I don't want it. Like, what the fuck? Like, you can't fucking compare that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't compare the 80 carries, obviously, but his ability, like, the skill he does, is, I mean, I don't know. Still watching him is pretty amazing. But yeah, he has a ridiculous 80 carry that you kind of have to look at, too.
Yeah.
So, what did you guys think of Hojin's Elise? I would say, very un-Hojin champion.
It was a very un-Hojin-like performance, though.
Yeah, he actually played that
I would say that was a very Hojin-like performance. He died the most of his team.
Yeah, that too, but his team party was decently good. I mean, that was... I saw Space just die when we had the Hojin in the backline. I was like, mate, just fucking kill the spider and then move up. Space's ability to play Vayne is so dumb. Why he constantly wants to ignore the front line and kill the back line. But he is Vayne! He has to kill the front line. That's the easiest way to get to the back line and kill them too. I don't get this whole... His whole playstyle on Spaces on Vayne is so bad. I just wanted to see one Sivir game, but they didn't want to give him Sivir. It's like, it's still a good champion.
Well, this was the post patch. This was the Sivir nerf patch.
It's still good because late game it's still exactly as strong and as long as you group. And CJ always groups. You always group as CJ, so it's never a fucking problem if they just group and press R. Imagine how good their team fighting would be in game 3 with Space on Sivir. Like, they could reposition with the TF, which is awesome because TF loves movement speed and they wanted to pick TP instead of cleanse. And then you have spell shield to block arrows, to block fish, so he doesn't get randomly hit after he gets ash arrowed, so it dies. And
yeah, that game really fucked. That TP really fucked him.
I don't get the TP pick. And again, like Nightchin, they barely never used it. Barely never. Like, they used it a bit better, but not much. That's still fucking TP.
I said the biggest heartbreak at the end of the first game was the Ambition attempted flank. They had a ward that expired, I would say about 10 seconds, maybe 15 seconds before he went in to check that, when he kind of like face checked the Orianna. And that really, CJ should have abandoned him at that point, because what happened right after that was when KOO got pretty much blown up instantly as he tried to desperately blow one person up.
So many shields.
That didn't work.
No damage.
Yeah.
No. It was a shitty game one. I think just pick Shen game one and they would have won easily.
Nah. Because I still think if they'd picked Shen in game one, that'd have opened up
No, and they
Smeb
probably
for Riven or Shyvana, and that would have just given KOO another level of win conditions.
Riven doesn't.
No, I think it was fine because they started the lanes. I mean, the lane swap would still have been fine. I still think that you have to take the gamble and give Smet you have to take the gamble and take the Shen.
The whole
for
series they
their
played
team.
super. Like they didn't want to pick a top laner first. They always waited until KOO picked it. Which
That's true. I still think they should have just
they should. But they were
they
afraid.
just have to lane swap every time and just dodge the match until you're tanky enough to survive it. They they need something better than what the Maokai was. I mean, in game 3, Maokai got fucking 3 kills and he still didn't do too much with it.
Tried, but yeah, if you get Ash out in the back line and no cleanses, then fucked up.
So, game 2.
Oh, I did that comp too. I mean, she just threw a comp like, all right, let's have as little damage as possible in our comp, and let's see where it goes. And then KOO's like, oh yeah, we know how to deal with Ash.
Game 2.
Yeah, also
Game 2.
a little Shyvana. It was a good fucking kind of pick. I mean, KOO's comp wasn't like great in damage, but they had more, so that didn't matter. And they had a bot lane that fucking won because Siege's bot lane shit. And then you can, even if Prey's not the greatest Kalista, Gorilla carried that whole lane with his cannon and then got him fucking super fed. So then you win the game anyway. Why would you ever pick Ash instead? Ash or Rihanna? You have no damage, and then KOO just goes
Ash
double
Leona.
cleanse. Yeah, and on Leona as well.
It's the same thing we saw Najin do.
Yeah, actually, same. I would love to see Braum again there. Braum, so good to protect Ash. Good synergy with Ash as well. Like, where was the Braum? Mad Life.
They picked Leona and Ash after they saw the Kalista cannon bot lane too. I mean, you really can't unless you can fully blow up the cannon before, like in a stun. You're never gonna get
before level 6. At level 6, it doesn't matter if you're stunned. Kalista can always drag you out, no matter how much you see you.
But like that Kalista Cannon bottom lane, like it's one of the best 2v2 bottom lanes you can ask for.
Yeah,
like it's there was a time where like you wouldn't let either of those champions get through the draft phase because of how powerful they were together. I'm not quite sure why that bottom lane fell off in terms of pick ban priority.
Well,
it did.
This series it just.
I think it fell off because Kalista's like permaban.
Yeah. It was permaban. Yeah,
like I mean, in the last show, I was like, oh, Prey can't play Kalista. Like, and then he proved me wrong. Like. He was clearly watching this show and was like, well, you know what, like, I'm going to prove that fucking handsome motherfucker wrong and, like, just play the best Kalista, like, I want to play some fucking sick Kalista. Like, it was pretty legit Kalista play, I gotta say.
We didn't expect Kalista this series, but, like, whatever, like, Exege's bot lane is way worse than the one of KOO, and they can, if they get Kalista.
But going into the series, I didn't think that CJ's bot lane was way worse. I think it's been shown to be a lot worse over these 3 games, but going into this game, I didn't rate KOO's bot lane that highly.
Yeah, I mean, coming into the playoffs, Prey had a huge. There was the issue of whether or not he can position properly in fights.
Yeah, but after the Nation games, you can't really say it's fucking that bad. I mean, he's not great, but he has even a bigger pool than Space has. Wait, it happened what we expected though. Like no fucking Lucian this whole series. That champion didn't exist. But that's because OQ. Like if somebody like neither of those players I think are Lucian players. Like I actually disagree with the cast on this point. Like I don't actually think that Prey wants to play Lucian. I actually think that that was like a takeaway. Like Prey plays like a decent Lucian. He's not like some kind of Lucian master like OQ. But like I said, we expected that to happen.
For example, I don't think you'll see Smeb playing Shyvana in other games. I think that was a takeaway. Like pick as well.
Was a card pick, mate.
Okay.
They're card pick every game. I mean,
that's fair. But I don't think you'll see Smeb put as much priority on Shen either in other games because I don't think that's a Smeb pick.
No, of course.
And this is what I like about the KOO Tigers right now is they are drafting well because they are understanding that you can take champions for as a takeaway rather than just as like a getting yourself a strong pick and try. So that not only are they taking away key champions from the other team, but they are also like building intelligent compositions as well. Like, okay, their comp in game 3 wasn't great, but their comp in game 1 and 2 was like pretty legit, I thought.
It wasn't great.
Especially,
It was still
especially
fucking
in game 2. That fucking comp in game 2 was so dirty. I had to go take like a fucking shower afterwards. Like, ugh.
Yeah,
Their pick and ban has
sick.
been very impressive though. It's going to be exciting to see it versus KT, who's
Yeah.
had a much better draft phase recently.
Yeah. They
As I
could,
said, Coach Song doing work.
sure. They can make it work against KT, but it's going to be a lot harder because you can't say like, oh, we're going to full focus on mid lane because that won't work against KT because they have someday and then Score gets what he wants and then you get well, I guess not that much support bans, but still you get pickable with some good champs to help too. Like it's going to be a lot harder against KT to do such a specific ban. I think KT will just overall stop priority picks for KOO and then just have their own builds ready. Like, let's hope so at least. 'Cause
I don't want to discuss talking about game 2, but just a side note. What, like, in Korea we see like 2-3 coaches in a pick and ban in the booth, like, well, 2 really in the booth, like doing like pick and bans with the players. But Riot rules are that you can only have one coach. So like, is that going to be changed to Worlds, or is like that just a bit of like a slap in the face to teams that can actually afford like a decent coaching infrastructure?
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to bother too much to be honest, because big bans will be pre-planned between the coaches, and then the one guy can probably.
I still think it's better to, like you may have one person in the booth that doesn't do anything with pick ban, but he's there to like, okay guys, like he's just
he's
there
there
to make sure
discuss
they're
win
focused.
conditions and
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
I
team
say
up and
it's
to-
gonna do a bit, but I think it's gonna be like I don't think it's gonna be
to keep
I would say
such a
to
problem.
keep other coach grounded as well, because you think about it, the more people you add to a discussion, theoretically, like if you had another coach, it's somebody to keep a head coach kind of in line, kind of thing, like so so you can bounce ideas off him and be like, because in the case of like Najin, I don't think Reach does any pick and bans. I think Reach is just there to be like, okay guys, we're gonna do it, we're gonna rock this game, and just there for morale or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's
No,
like
possible.
Vinyl Cat who's doing all the pick bans, and I'm not going to say it's the same for KOO Tigers because I don't know. Like I think Nofe had some decent pick ban phases at the start of spring, but I do think that like you can see Songs talking a lot about the pick ban when he's in the booth, kind of thing. You know, they're constantly talking when every champion's like hovered over and that kind of thing. So I just think that's a weird like. Why, if you're gonna have one, why not have 2? Like, you know what I mean? Like, surely you should just let a team have as many coaches as they want to add into the booth. Like,
No.
I'm still not sure how it is in the LPL because I don't watch enough LPL. Whether they have 2 coaches in the pick and ban or
I
just
think they
the
just
one.
have one. I think they do the same thing Riot does with the headset.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, it just feels like an unnecessary nerf to Korean teams who've already had all their players fucking sucked out of them. Like, just another dick in the face for Korean teams.
The bigger question I have too that affects both China and Korea is does anyone know if it's still one sub only?
Yeah, it probably will still be one sub only.
Probably, yeah. It's very likely.
But
Because that really is what is
Yeah.
really a huge thing for a lot of teams.
Well, I mean, Jin aren't going to Worlds, so bad luck.
I'm not talking about Jin. I'm talking about teams that are actually already secured 2 worlds, like SKT and LGD.
Yeah,
have
well,
multiple subs that are of quality strength, but which player do you think is going to fuck up is pretty much what you're doing.
yeah. I mean, LGD only really use Flame, don't they? Or
They also have a sub jungler.
oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that
They now have
But
a
I mean,
sub-jungler right now too.
The thing is though is like the one sub is pretty much like what it says to your team is like, hey, we think you may fuck up the most, Mr. Starter, so we're bringing a sub for you because we don't trust you 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does in a way.
Like, and I don't think things like substitutions or something that really need to be limited because, like, I mean, if a team starts like swapping out their entire roster, like, obviously that's gonna like hurt the other team. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what team like? So, like, I think like allowing like 2 subs and 2 coaches would be fine. But
I think the 2 sub would be fine.
yeah,
That's what I mean. Honestly, I think that would be enough for most teams, but I think 1 sub is just not enough.
yeah, it's too much pressure on a player or something like that. I think. But anyway, to get back to the actual game itself, this is.
Well, I mean, game 2 and 3 are pretty fucking stompy.
Well,
Game-
game 3
Not game 3.
wasn't.
Game
come
3,
on.
once they got the edge, they gave it up in that tower dive.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You forget they kind of threw game 3. I mean, CJ. I mean, they didn't fully throw, but They had like just really fucking poor team fights that got constantly ahead and ahead. Like,
Yeah, it was the tower dive and the dragon fight where Space stayed alive really. Yeah,
not long. The first
he stayed alive with like 100 HP left.
Yeah, it started with Ambition being so nice to again screw over his mid laner and move out the side of the fucking Ash Arrow. Okay, so of course, if CJ had been smart and picked Cleanse, that wouldn't have been a problem. But other than that, Ambition, take one for the team, for fuck's sake, mate. So yeah, KOO got screwed over and died, so then you have no TF. And they all got even super low. So you could see they would have easily won that team fight if they actually had a fucking TF in the fight. But yeah. No TF, no fight.
Ambition in game 2 was like when you go out to the club with your mate and you really want to talk to a girl, but she's got like a friend with her, and you're like, "Oh, can you just go talk to a friend for me, mate?" And he's like, "No," and you're like, "Well, come on, mate. I'm not saying do anything. Just talk to her for a bit." "No, I'm not doing that." "Well, you're not talking to anyone else, right?" "No, I'm not doing that." Like that. Like, Ambition is clearly someone who does not have your back. Like, don't trust that guy. He looks like he'd stab you in the shower or something. Like, maybe that's why Trick wasn't playing. Maybe Ambition shivved the fuck out of him in the shower. I don't know, but like Ambition is not. That should be Ambition's tag. Ambition doesn't have your back. Like his name's even Ambition. He ain't got. He's got ambition to get teamwork. So he's gonna stab the fuck out of you when he gets a chance. He ain't got nobody's back. He don't even know what a back looks like.
Well, he does. He has to stab him, dude.
Oh yeah, that's true. But okay, yeah. He doesn't know what the concept of like friendship or like being the bigger man is. Like pay his motherfucker ever, I reckon.
So it started there, and then they got.
But do you also think that at that point KOO should have had Zhonya's? I mean, because he went Lichbane into Rabadon's.
Actually, no, I don't think so. I just think he has should have got Cleanse. Because the problem with Zonya's build is you actually do not have that much damage then. And
Wait, is this,
you don't have,
is this game 2? Like
no, 3, man.
3.
We're talking
oh, okay.
3.
Oh, right, moved on. Okay.
Dude, Jeff.
Well, that's the sort of things I want to talk about in game 2, like the Leona.
We can bounce back. It's just we only have 3 games to talk about. We can bounce in between.
Okay.
We're gonna bounce back right now.
Okay.
Boom.
Okay.
Bounce back.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on game 2?
Okay. So
Shit.
Besides, don't play Ash Leona bot lane for the love of fuck.
Don't play actual Oriana. Like, it's no damage.
yeah, like I think the like I don't know. It's just like I mean, in a sense, CJ had a good comp because they had the Shen, Evelyn, Oriana, so you can like put loads of shields on the Evelyn, but they didn't have somebody like to kind of properly shield. Like, it was like protect the nothing. You know what I mean? Like they were all just spent the whole time protecting each other, so you just die. Like
pick Kog'Maw or something that game, or I don't know, man.
Well, Kog'Maw was banned, but don't
Was
pick
it?
fucking Ash.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you could have picked a lot of other stuff as well.
It was banned by CJ too, which is hilarious.
Yeah, true.
in this game, like CJ should have probably played something like something with damage, like a Jinx or something like that. Space used to play a mean Jinx. Well, he's playing okay Jinx. He never played anything in his life.
Yeah, Jinx,
like,
Tristana. I mean, they even said it. Pick Tristana, and then the moment you pick an Ashe, you have no damage, man. Even Sivir would have been
What's wrong with
better.
Corki?
Even Sivir would have been better.
What's been wrong with Corki there, though?
Also pretty. Well, it would be better,
Look,
but still shitty.
Orky Leona's still a pretty good lane, I guess. So you've got that.
Oh, I'm not saying Leona at that point, but I mean, like, I would have put him on Corki.
There was a moment where he was hovering over the Twitch, and I was like, oh no, it was Prey that was hovering over the Twitch. That was right. It was Prey that was hovering over the Twitch. I was like, oh, don't pick the Twitch, Prey. Don't pick the Twitch. Don't pick the Twitch. Oh, he didn't pick
Was
the
it
Twitch.
Prey?
Yeah. No, wait, no. In game 1, that's right. Prey was hovering over the Twitch. So clearly, Kutai was practicing that.
Game 2 Space was as well, but he picked Leona, or I don't know who was doing that. He swapped it like 3 times in a second time. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, game 2 is when they continued to blow Shen ulti and TP for like the worst. No trade, absolutely nothing. They'd have to.
They didn't even
have
have
him ult
fucking map
down.
control.
Yeah, they'd have him ult down for nothing, and then he'd have to TP back up before Smeb can destroy the turret, and then Smeb would back off, TP bot, and get a double kill. And be like, well,
that was game
this
2
fucking
pretty
game.
much.
It happened like 3 times or something ridiculous. Like, you think after the second time you'd learn, but yeah, like, oh, maybe I should just blow, maybe I should TP up top. Like, I mean, I've already lost this lane. Like,
Oh god, game 2 was such a mess from
Yeah, that game
CJ.
was so bad.
That's why I didn't want to talk about it anymore, because like didn't have not much happened except CJ fucking up at all accounts. So draft was bad, their play was bad, everything was just shit.
it was a real blowout by like KOO Tigers look legitimately good as well. Like, fuck anyone who says KOO Tigers don't deserve to go to World. They look fucking legitimately fucking sick, I think, these days.
Versus CJ, sure, they look good.
The issue being is we still haven't seen them. Well, I guess Najin. We've seen them beat Najin in the first 15 minutes, but can they survive against an actual team that's going to beast them in the first 15 minutes of a game.
Oh, they're going to win versus KT. Don't you worry about that one.
Okay.
But we'll talk about that later. We'll
We'll get to that point.
That's
Before
a
we get to
preview
there, I have
for
another
later.
topic. I have another topic I want to hear Sam's thoughts on before we get there. But we can finish up Game 3.
Yeah.
And pitiful attempt at the Maokai after he got the 3 kills. He converted it pretty well. He never had through follow-up. And
nor did he
and that was-
lock on the Fizz enough. Like, they got flanked so many times with Fizz. Like, KOO literally solo killed both Space and KOO in that last team fight at Dragon before they lost
my
Baron. Like, he soloed them both on his own between the whole team. Like, there was no help from his team pretty much.
Yeah, that Dragon fight where they had them coming down and then they kind of engaged and Fizz jumped and got a double.
Yeah.
I don't know why CJ didn't just go back up and just, like, their minions are pushing mid lane. Just rotate back up. TF popped, like, his ultimate and didn't use it just to get vision to see where they were. I would have been like, dude, as soon as you saw them all backing down the bot lane, just go, let's take mid turret.
Yeah, because I wanted
Just
Dragon.
fucking
It was their fourth
TP
Dragon.
back to mid. You had Lichbane at that point. Throw your fucking cards. Take the turret. Like, you have a team that is going to be. You have so many TPs on this fucking team. Use them to your advantage. When you see all 5 people bot lane, TP top and take turret if your minions are already pushing it.
What did you want to talk about in game? What did you want my opinion on, mate?
Well, we'll finish up Game 3, and then I have
Okay,
a question to you.
Fair enough. No, but like the other thing as well, like Game 3, like Smeb in the interview was saying, I don't think he played well, but I thought he played pretty well on the Gnar. Like, I think he put a decent amount of pressure on the Maokai. Like, he was constantly like under the Maokai's turret. Like, Smeb, that's not you playing well, mate. What is, like, you know?
That was, but his team fighting was like a bit weaker. I think that's why he just said it.
The item build too, I think, hampered him. That was kind of weird to see him go. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, he started Mao.
Mao Mortius' first item was like that, like
He
rush.
shouldn't have done that.
It's really weird.
It's like a really greedy build, to be honest, but whatever. Because that was a problem then. Because they got behind, because they were still winning in all the gold first KOO. Because in the first part they were winning, but because they went so like lane focused, mostly Smap's build, and then they started to think, oh, let's start fighting 5v5, and they got beaten pretty heavily in that first or second dragon, and then CJ finally got ahead, even though they're actually losing early game because they had the better teamfight coming with the fat Maokai. But then they actually started fighting with the Maokai, which was not something they should have done. But yeah, then they luck out with good ash arrows from Prey. Because like even at the dragon fight after they finally got behind again, the 5th dragon at this point, while Kuro got the flank, Prey had a sick arrow onto space, so he had to cleanse that, and then got hit by the officials. Yeah, he had no cleanse left to get rid of officials. Also, Madlife was way too late with his fucking Mikhails. 30 minutes in, he only had his Mikhails, dude. Like, why? And then I saw him build home guard boots while his Mikhails was still not done. I'm like, mate, you have to fucking stop wasting your money and build Mikhails. You're playing for Slash with no cleanses on your team. What are you doing?
Yeah, they really should have sorted that Mikhails out. Like it was kind of greedy builds, like from like CJ. Like I think there's something was fundamentally wrong with CJ Entis in Game 3. Like I think they were quite on tilt because they could have won that game like if they played like as well as they did in other games.
That game was the easiest to win from all three.
Because going into this series, like I didn't think CJ Entis don't get me wrong, KOO played well, but CJ Entis played badly. Like this was a bad series from CJ Entis. Like so, I think I still think if CJ Entis played as well as they had done, like when they beat SKT or something like that, this would have gone to like 3-2 to KOO. Because like some of their drafts weren't great and stuff like that, but but they definitely there was something wrong with CJ Entis. I think something fundamentally wrong. You know what I mean?
Silver. More silver. With
I'm not sure
good their team fighting, man. They would have in my opinion, not so much better than team fight. Space wouldn't die the whole time. God.
What do you guys think of Kuro's Fizz? And think he actually was very good on it, or was KOO just really cocky with not taking cleanse?
Well, cleanse mostly got fucked by the arrow though, man. The laning he was doing well in laning because he constantly dodged gold cards and stuff.
I think that KOO is like a bit of a weird player in the sense that he made his name playing control mages like Orianna and Lissandra and Victor and stuff like that. But like he plays like a really mean Yasuo and now a really mean Fizz. Like when did he start practicing assassins and why is he so good on
His
them?
LeBlanc Gaston weren't too bad in spring either. Dude.
Yeah, exactly. Like I just think Kuro is like a weirdly like underrated player in terms of how like he's not one dimensional. He's got this rep as like kind of Doinby of LPL, but actually I think he plays like a pretty mean assassin in a way. You know what I mean?
Sometimes, yes. I mean, it took a while before the SSO got good, though. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
It wasn't good when he started.
No.
No. But his Fizz was good straight off the bat. I've never seen him play Fizz before, and he played that really well.
I think like what they said in cost, it's true. Like it was game 3, and we're like, all right, let's try something we never did. They just like they saw the TF, let's try and counter pick and let's see how it goes. They didn't mind if they lost that game. They always had a blind pick left. I'm pretty sure they were confident in their blind pick after what they did to Notch and like so they were pretty secure of winning that series. And they were like, let's try something different out. Like it was still a very good draft, but it was a common draft for KOO, which they now practiced live and it went okay. I mean, like they won, but to be fair, CJ kind of fucked it up and got hit by too many Ash arrows without cleanse or kills.
Yeah.
This fish was good.
But there's still the best thing about watching KOO Tigers is their understanding of win conditions and exactly what they need to do in a specific situation to win the game. Whoever is shot calling from that team is like legit maybe the best shot caller in the world. Like that moment where it's like they just like lost a team fight and they were going to lose because they were going to get outscaled by CJ Enters. And even the casters were like, they need to make picks right now. And then they just made a pick on the mid lane, like the Ash arrow into the Fizzle. It was just like boom. Like they knew exactly what they needed to do to get back into that game. Like I'm not sure if it's Gorilla or if it's Smeb or it's not Hojin, let's be honest.
No,
it's not Prey.
It just has
so,
like, wisdom. So.
It's probably Gorilla and Smeb, to be honest.
Yeah, that looks the most logical. Too.
Yeah, but whoever's shot calling for that team, bang on the money, like knows exactly. And if it is Gorilla, I'd like to point out Gorilla speaks English and wanted to join a Western team at the start of this season. So any Western team that didn't spend their entire budget on trying to secure Gorilla, you've done fucked up, didn't you?
They did.
Like, unless your name's Fnatic, you fucked up. Like you could have gone to Worlds off the back of that shot calling. He'd shot call the shit out of the LCS. Like you could have gone to fucking Worlds. But you fucked that up. His only condition as well was that he gets to play with Kuro, and some teams were like, no, we don't need that. Like some European teams were legitimately like, oh no, we got a better mid laner than Kuro. We don't need Gorilla. Like, what's wrong?
I think the NA teams are the ones that I'm like, wait, you have a better mid laner than Kuro?
Yeah, no, you don't.
Wait,
except
you have a better
Only TSM can maybe say. Well, I think Kuro can do fighting as Spears now.
Well, do you think TSM's gonna pick up Gorilla when they have Lust Boy?
No, they can't.
It's not worth the effort.
I mean, it's not worth the amount of
you still have fucking Walter in your roster. What does it matter? You got even better support now. Like he's still playing with. Well, okay, even Gorilla can't fix Walter. Let's just be real there. Even Gorilla wouldn't be able to fix it.
So I just saw a cool stat. The second game 2 and game 3, Hojin had 88% kill participation.
Yeah, well, they're pretty much teamfight the whole time. Oh, I remember.
And also a jungler should have like above 80% kill participation, like especially in like a Korean like macro intensive like game where everything's like has to be the very little risk is taken, especially between these two teams as well. Like a jungler definitely should. Like if he had like 60%, I'd be like, whoa, wow, Hojin's really bad. Like,
well, he had out of the game 1, he had 5. He was part of 5 of 12, so it wasn't that
yeah, exactly. Like because he's a shit player.
But I mean, like game 3 specifically, he had 19. He was a part of 19 out of 20 kills, which is pretty impressive, I think, because if you look at how that game was, it was a lot faster paced than the other two because of how many flashes are blown early.
Yeah, but to be fair, he was actually very good. He had actually more. He had more early aggression than.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is that.
Yeah, of course.
Those are the. If you said wisdom, I'd understand
only
that.
Game 3 though, like the rest of the other 2 games are still pretty like.
Because Wisdom is usually was the person they brought in to try and prepare the first 15 minutes of the game where they got just dumpstered on all the time. And now it was very weird to see, like, because I was like, yeah, I knew he was doing stuff early, but when I was looking at him like, holy shit, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's very Hojin-like numbers.
Yeah, Hojin had a legit series. Like, don't get me wrong, Hojin played well. I still don't think Hojin's that great. I still think this competition was ambition. It's like when people like hype up Clear Level. I'm like, well, he's playing against like some bit shit jungler unless he's playing, or his team's just massively outmanned. Like, But in this series, Hojin I think played actually legit well and like showed that he's not like the laughing stock I like to make him out to be.
Yeah.
Really.
Right,
He's
legit
definitely one of the
well.
better mid-tier junglers in Korea. Like might be the best
Korea.
mid-tier jungler. But I mean, we'll see if they want to move on. They have to play against, I would say, 2 of the top 3 junglers in Korea.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So they have to deal with those two first.
So I'm going to move on to the next question I had for Sam. Sam, we talked about this on the previous episode about what if the first series of the best of 5. Knowing what you know now, do you think Najin would have been able to turn that around if it was 5 games instead of 3?
That is actually good, isn't it? Because of how well Kutai was adapted. You know what? Actually, after having watched this series, like hindsight's 2020 and stuff like that. Like, I actually don't think that Najin. I think Najin would have still taken it to 5 games, but I still think the win conditions would have been the same for KOO Tigers. They would have got a win off the Malphite. Then Najin would have reacted in game 3. Then they would have got a. So Najin would have taken another win in game 3 without the Malphite pick.
2-1.
KOO Tigers would have had some other like zany comp in game 4, and then that's what it would have taken into game 5, which KOO Tigers would have won in the same fashion they won. So I still think that. So I think that KOO Tigers would have won, but I still maintain that we should have had a best of 5 for that wild card match. Why did you start calling it a wild card match, OGN? I don't know, mate. I just thought, fucking think better next time, innit? But I still think that KOO Tigers, are probably the better team than Najin right now. Still think Najin will make it to Worlds, but we'll get to that later. Well, it's a taster, it's a teaser. Yeah, no, it's a valid point. I don't think that Najin, because in the last show I was like, Najin would have adapted, no problem. All KOO Tigers have with that Malphite. I think KOO Tigers actually got a lot more dimensions to him now, and I think the KOO Tigers would have. I still think Najin would have beat CG Entus though. So especially with CG Entus playing how they did today. If your mid laner plays like that, he ain't gonna be able to capitalize on Najin's main weakness, is he?
Nope.
Yeah, I guess not, but.
And you may say Watch is a bad jungler, but he's better than our fucking ambition.
Oh, Watch Watch is a bad jungler in the sense that he's not if he gets the lead himself, he's not going to be able to take over the game, and he's not going to be the person to do. He's very linear. He's going to tank, and he's going to just tank.
Yep.
And if he gets money, he's just going to become a bigger tank earlier.
Yeah, stupid as shit.
Carry tanking.
I think that's the issue with him. I mean, I've never said oh my god, he can't jungle. He's just very linear. And the biggest time I've seen him kind of torn apart was against KT Arrows in the semifinals, I believe.
It was the quarters.
Quarters, when he just got completely shit on by Kakao.
He did redeem himself by shitting on Kakao in the match.
Yes.
That was pretty funny. He did redeem himself, but there was that moment where he played Doctor and the Kakao was jungle and killed him, and then he tried I'll just do that to Kakao then, and he played Elise into Kakao's Doctor, tried to go to the jungle and got killed. I was like, oh God, what? You can't do it either way, can you?
You need tanks to be in the meta, son.
You all remember that? I don't know if anyone remembers that time where Katie. I think it was in spring of 2013. So I'm going back quite a way now. So I realise that most League of Legends fans have only started watching the last 4 months. So sorry about this.
Was he on Sword at that point?
No, this is not a watch point. This is a Bullets point, which is so Katie Bullets back then had where they would, in a best of 2, they would play a comp in game 1, beat you, and then in game 2 they would play the comp that you played against them and beat you with that. So they would style on you, with your own team.
Yes.
Now, when I was watching that quarterfinals in 2014, I was like, oh shit, Kakao still remember the KT Bullets and still wants to style on you with the opposite matchup. So just as a shout out, that's the only time I've ever seen a team pick the comp you just beat them with to beat you with, just to be we could do it either way, motherfucker. So a bit of swagger from Kakao then, but we're getting off point here. I still think that series should have been it still should have been 5 games, and I still think that GE Tigers would have won, and I still think that Najin would beat GE Tigers. So in a sense,
what, you said the same thing now, dude.
Yeah.
So I assume you mean Najin would have lost, But
Najin would have still lost to GE Tigers, but
Oh.
had Najin won that, they would have beat CH Entus.
Yeah.
So right now, I'd rank Korean teams as like SKT. We'll see about that one. I've still got that bet with you though. GE Tigers, KT, and then like Najin, and then CJ Entus down here. And then Jin Air like fucking hitting the floor. The plane doesn't even take off. Like can't even get wind.
You forget though that Nigel can't drive for shit and would probably give KOO a 0 though, so they would probably still lose that best of 5.
Yeah. Like I mean, that was series was pretty good. So like it's pretty good at showing what you need to do to beat anyone who's like good at Azir. Just ban the Azir.
Well, I mean, I think it shows you a way to beat the team if they only have one player as their main, is their carry, is their.
Yeah, just ban him out. Just ban him out. Why has no one done this to TSM yet?
It almost,
Ban him out.
I was say it's almost like a team, perhaps this Sunday playing at Madison Square Garden could be beaten the same way.
Yeah. COG coach, if you're watching this, and I know you are.
Actually, yeah.
And I know you are. You're a big fan of me. Even though I don't know your name, just ban out Bjergsen.
No, 6 is their analyst, I guess.
Yeah, just ban out Bjergsen.
Force Lulu and Oriana to be the picks in mid lane, and you'll
Holy
win.
shit, we got some big names watching your show. I just realised COG coach watching a show. Prey watches this show. Like, some big people are watching this show. I reckon even Faker watches it. Like, there's some big people watching this show, especially for a show with only 13 viewers. It's impressive.
Okay, yeah.
So let's move on to KT versus KOO. They met in week 4, which was in June, and KOO 2-0'd KT, and then last week of July was week 11 when KT 2-0'd KOO.
The most recent stat, yeah.
That's been KT. That's the story of KT season, though. Get 2-0'd by team, get Pickaboo, 2-0 said team.
2-0 team, yeah.
So yeah, and they still have Pickaboo, man, so...
Yeah, they still have Pickaboo. Don't get me wrong, still have Pickaboo. But, like, I mean, let me just think about this as like let's break this down as a game. We'll get into this game. So in this game, you've got Smeb versus Someday. Now, Smeb and Someday are both the kind of guys. They're not amazing in the lane, but what they are good at is snowballing a game and taking it over when they get some kind of an advantage. They're both the same kind of player. Now, I think Smeb is more adaptable, and I think Smeb is just like a bit more refined as a player. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? I know how much some people who are very popular with the community and have over 100,000 followers love Someday and say he's like the best in the world. But I'm not really sold on that. I think Smeb is the better player. Now, as for Hojin versus Score, who knows really? Score has played better for a longer period of time, but Hojin has played very well in this most recent game. Not his best series, 'cause I think he played kind of shit in game 1, but he's played well in his most recent series. So who knows? KOO versus Nagane, again, very similar players, both very smart with how they play the game. Neither of them are aiming to be the main carry. Both of them, Nagane's better in lane, but KOO's better at team fighting, so who knows. And then AD carry, Prey versus Arrow. I think Prey wins that one, because while Prey might have bigger lows, he's also got much better highs than Arrow. So
Wait, he has bigger lows than Arrow?
yeah, like we've all seen Prey when he plays bad, and he plays fucking bad. Like,
okay.
You know,
We've all seen the Praven, yes.
Yeah, the Praven, or they actually played legit Prey.
Are we gonna have fucking Draven match up with that?
I hope
that
so.
would be
that
so
would be
dumb.
My pick game 5.
Game 5. Draven.
Yeah, let's do this.
Ultimate VM.
Let's have like a gentleman's agreement to both places.
Oh god.
And then Gorilla versus Pickaboo. Like, it'll be a good series, you know what I mean? Like, I know last time I kind of undersold the series. I was like, this is a series. You need to watch this series if you're not a fan of Queen League. Now I still stand by that, because this was a good series in the sense of it was a systematic showing of how brilliant the KOO Tigers are, and their shot calling and their understanding of win conditions and their team fighting, that kind of thing. Probably the best team fighting team in Korea. Again, that's the other point as well. Like, GE Tigers team fighting greater than KT's team fighting, but we'll get to that later. But like this series is coming up, which is day after tomorrow. Need to watch it. KT versus GE Tigers. It's gonna be on. It's gonna go down.
See, the only issue I have with your Smeb versus Someday is I think Someday is incredibly much better at tanks. Like, Smeb versus Someday, if they're both playing carries, I'd give the edge to Smeb. If they're both playing tanks, I give the edge to Someday.
Yeah.
I also will say that Nagda has a higher carry potential than I think KOO has. I think if you give Nagda a lead, he'll do more with it. in both team fights and making plays around the map. KOO are still pretty passive.
Both have pretty similar playstyles too, where they both have a better Victor than they do if they're Azir, but they both can play pretty wide variety. They
Yeah,
both
I
can
think
play
Victor's gonna be
pretty
pretty
decent.
series though or something.
I don't like. Who do we think are going to be the targets of the bans? Because I think it's probably going to be jungle or top.
I think Victor and Yasuo are still gonna get bans unless Nagni plays Yasuo, or they have a good counter comp. But
I think Fizz is a worthy ban for KT as well in certain situations. If they want to play,
it's not worth
if
it.
they want to play certain comps, I don't know. Maybe I'm probably going out there.
Also, someday can play Fizz, so they can pick it away and put it top lane, man.
I hope someday plays Fizz because Fizz top lane is pretty shit.
Not that shit. Still pretty good. AD.
It really depends on what lane he can get.
Yeah. I don't think he will though, but still okay.
I think that the GE Tigers have a pretty big advantage in the bottom lane, especially if Peekaboo tries to roam as much as he does against other teams. Like with this new 2v2 GE Tigers extra dimension they've added, I think that Gorilla can kind of they can really punish Arrow in the bottom lane because Arrow's a player who loves getting punished. Like he's in some serious BDSM shit. Like
He maybe
it's all about the
like
whips,
get
the
punished.
chains.
I don't see Arrow pulling a space and fucking
No.
tower diving for fucking Janek first blood and then getting turned around like a bitch. Like I Arrow may be bad, but I don't think he's like space bad.
No.
It's about the same level.
Yeah, I do hope they
No, because
fucking
Arrow
fix everyone
Arrow just
game.
fucks up CS.
Both of them need to be benched. I'll put it like that. Both
Yeah.
of them need to be benched.
We said that many times before already. Fucking get rid of them. But at least Arrow is above space in some ways. And he has a way better team. I think this well, that's Hojan. Yeah, he had a good series, but I think Score could tilt this series.
I think
with big
The first 20 minutes of this
Yeah.
they're gonna be very important.
If KT can get an advantage in the first 20 minutes, KT will win. If they don't get an advantage in the first 20 minutes, GE Tigers will win. That's like the longer the game goes on, GE Tigers win conditions keep increasing, like percentage wise. You know what I mean? So if it's dead even at 20 minutes, GE Tigers win. If it's
if that's even, it can still something can happen.
They can still throw.
it won't be like that. Like remember last time they played, like it was actually pretty close for a 2-0. Like there was that game that GE Tigers really should have won and they didn't because of Arrow's like the weird juggernaut kind of, and how he went down to like 100 HP and they still couldn't just quite and he dodged like one skill shot and that's kind of what won the whole game. Like I think that this series will be. I don't think it'll be a 3-0 at all. I think this game will go to 5 games, 100%. I think this is a 5-game series we've got on our hands here. Maybe 3-1 for KT, but I think that if we get to the blind pick as well, I'm all aboard that GE Tigers 5th game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we get to game 5, I think it's gonna be crazy to see if both teams can get exactly what they want.
Because KT might go like a counter Yasuo.
Riven versus Riven, Draven versus Draven. Let's do this.
Well, then it's Smebba's gonna win and Arrow's going to win. So
Yeah, but Riven loves Draven, so it's
Actually,
fine.
my Draven beats Riven at late game, man. It's fucking. There's so much damage to Draven. Like you just do E and 2 crits and Riven's dead. Like so what?
Okay, well we're not actually going to see any Dravens. So.
No, okay, that's true though. Thank fucking god. Hopefully.
you can stop pretending.
Yeah, the sack is that. Well, I wouldn't surprise me if one of the two actually. Well, mostly KT fucking randomly picks it one game, but yeah, no, we're not gonna see blind pick Draven. That's retarded.
I'd like to add why I'm wearing a shirt and a tie today. Obviously, normally I don't dress like this in my personal life. I'm not a fucking weirdo. But I decided to wear a shirt and tie because I thought, you know what, I'll honour the KOO Tigers with their victory today by trying to look a bit smart and sharp on stage. So this is my attempt. And I will do this every time KOO Tigers wins. I will come on stage with a different shirt and a different tie. And they'll get, like, maybe I'll throw in like a jumper or a waistcoat. You know, it's going to get, like, if you're a fan of fashion, you got to be rooting for the KOO Tigers.
Wear your cat ears.
That'll come when KOO Tigers inevitably crush SKT in the final and I am the king. There will be a crown of cat ears.
Oh my god. Actually, then that's actually worth it, so. Holy shit.
Well, we can get to there. I mean, is there anything else we have to throw in for SKT or KT versus KOO?
We'll just we could do predictions round robin, I guess. So round everyone.
Oh,
I think KT 3-1 or 3-2.
Yeah.
I still think KT could win
Same.
either.
Same.
I'm gonna go with GE Tigers again. I'm all
yeah,
aboard it.
of course.
Oh, of course. You didn't even need to tell us what you've said in the past 15 minutes.
yeah, the
Bless
past
you.
hour, they're just like, oh, okay, cool Tigers.
I know sometimes my predictions are kind of obvious because I like to say everything. But, I think GE Tigers have got this. Like I'm all about GE Tigers now. I think you know what, legit Korean team need to get to Worlds, need to show Xiao Gu or whatever their fucking name is how to fucking team fight, and they're gonna fucking stomp on some LCS kids. Oh, Bjergsen, you're so good. Oh, I don't know how we're gonna beat you, Bjergsen. Bam, Koro. He does nothing in mid lane and shuts your ass down, Bjergsen.
And that was the best. Was on the stream they're talking about with Korra what he does. Like, well, you don't get kills. No, you don't die. No, you don't really like win on CS. No, just there.
Yeah.
I hug the tower.
Just stand, fucking watch it.
I like my turrets to stay up and just sit there.
Yeah.
Well, I want to point one thing out that they said on stream, Papa Smitty said. But they were talking about goal difference and they were talking about assists. And sure, KOO gets a lot more assists, but more assists don't mean more gold, man. Just want to point out to viewers who are not that good at League, an assist is worth half the money of a kill. And if you get 2 assists for that same kill, the gold is spread out evenly, okay? You don't actually get more gold. Assist is always worth as much gold, okay? They were just ahead because they had more CS, they had more kills, they had more objectives. It doesn't fucking matter how many assists you get. It just that only shows how much as a team you play and how much individually or laning phase you get kills. That assist stats. Okay, that's it. That's it. You don't get more gold with more assists.
No.
That is it.
So you two back in KT. I'm back in KOO Tigers, not G. I keep wanting to call them GE Tigers. I just prefer the name GE Tigers. KOO
It's
Tigers.
nicer. Yeah, true. I miss you.
I think this is if they can win this, I think they actually have a shot to play a really good series against SKT because we've seen versus Najin, they were really able to beat a team that could beat them in the first 15 minutes, and they did it by not getting too far behind
Yeah,
and
but
catching up. Then they beat CJ, and you could see how they know how to do a pick and ban phase. I think it's gonna be a bit more difficult against KT because they have less of a glaring problem there.
Yeah.
But if they can beat KT, then once again they can show that they've been able to combine not losing in the first 15 minutes and a good pick and ban phase. It's like this is if it is this, it's like this is their training.
Yeah.
This is their like montage in the movie of like, oh, I learned how to fight.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna go fight. Yeah.
And I think the KOO Tigers have shown themselves to be pretty adaptable in a series as well. Their ability to adapt and understand.
Yes.
Again, it goes back to their understanding of win conditions. Top fucking percentage right there. They are the chouster of win conditions. They understand, so whether that's in the pick and ban phase now, or whether that's in the mid game rotations or the late game, or exactly what to do or how to team fight, they understand it. And I think they have a better understanding of League of Legends as a game than KT do. Even though KT are a pretty smart pretty smart team. I mean, this is the thing. This is really two of the smartest teams in League of Legends going head to head. You know what I mean? I don't think SKT are particularly smart in certain ways. I think that KOO Tigers and GE and KT are both smarter teams than SKT with how they understand League of Legends as a game. So I think that this is really like brains versus brains. Let's do this. Like if Najin are the brawn of Korea, KOO Tigers and KT are definitely the brains of Korea.
KT is the brains and Pickaboo.
But now she didn't show their brawn though. So you say 15 minutes, but you forget SKT had the shortest game times of any team, this whole fucking split. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, exactly. SKT are a brawn team. You know what I mean? They're a crush your fucking, they'll push your shit in. KOO Tigers are
that's a problem
playing
for
chess.
KOO. That's a problem for KOO.
KOO Tigers will bait and outsmart you.
I mean, versus KT again. That's a test. If they can beat that, okay, then that definitely deserve that second seed. But we'll see against SKT. That's for after.
Well, KOO Tigers were locked to go to Worlds now, so.
No, they're not.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, they're not. KT could win, and then they have to do Gauntlet, and they could still lose. But it's looking good for KOO to get to Worlds.
Yeah. It's almost 8 out of 10 chances of KOO Tigers making Worlds, really. Because if they beat KT.
Yes.
If they beat KT,
if they win
100%.
this or SKT wins.
Yeah.
It's the finals. Yeah.
Then again, yep. any of the
It's still 100% in their hands. They're not like if they lose to KT, it's in SKT's hands. They've just become the biggest SKT fans in the world.
Yeah.
But
and if they lose, they only have to play one best of 5, win another one best of 5 again.
just wanna highlight something as well. So I read a Reddit thread recently, dangerous, where people talked about this idea that SKT don't scrim domestic teams. See, I'm not sure I believe that. I'm not sure I believe that SKT don't scrim Korean teams. The idea was that SKT only scrim Chinese teams. Now, first
That's
off,
really better, or what?
yeah, like now, first off, okay, you have to understand that when Chinese teams play Korean teams, like Korean teams or the Chinese teams actually don't get a great ping based on the server that they play on. Okay, I just want to put that out there. Korean teams are used to playing with about 6 to 7 ping. It's insane. Korea's a small country and they have their own server. Like when you live in LA, like you live like LA is bigger. No, sorry, California is much bigger than Korea. Korea's a fucking tiny country. And most Korean teams live in Seoul, where that fucking server is. And Seoul is actually a tiny city. People are rammed the fuck in there. Like people are living in like.
But
Carry on.
Best
I'll say it's not just that, but American infrastructure when it comes to that is complete and utter horseshit.
Yeah. So Korean teams are used to playing with really low ping. So why would a Korean team spend their entire time scrimming China? Now, don't get me wrong, they will scrim Chinese teams, but they will have to play those Chinese teams with a ping higher than what they get. So if you want to get like the actual best quality practice, you're going to scrim Korean teams. Not only that, but Koreans are quite like, you know, nationally pride people. They're quite proud of this idea that they're Korean, and that's why Koreans typically, KOO Tigers and CJ Enters do well at international events, and that's why you see them sometimes step up at an international event. It's because this idea into their head, they're representing Korea and they want to do well for Korea. So why would SKT like completely shit on the entire Korean scene and give themselves worse practice? And not like if it's true, it's done by SKT, but it ain't true. So stop saying it's true, Reddit. You're fucking dumb.
I mean, they might scrim sometimes, but
Some of Reddit is dumb. Some of Reddit is pretty smart.
Probably is. No, it's not. Reddit is not smart.
Some of it.
I say I would give it to them. They probably do scrim Chinese teams, but at the same time, they're also scrimming Korean teams.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, they have to
unless you
beat
have
Korean
100% proof, you're wrong.
Yeah, and like no one knows exactly what SKT is scrimming except for SKT. Like, are you part of SKT? Are you Chroma Reddit? No, you're not. So, like, just because you read something or you think, and also like most stuff on Reddit comes without a source or anything. It's just like it's just people trying to pass off like their own whimsical opinions as facts. Like, fuck those guys. So yeah, just want to put that out there as like total horseshit. And not only that, but I guarantee nearly every Korean team scrims Chinese teams. I mean, KOO Tigers are technically a Chinese organization, so why wouldn't they scrim Chinese teams? Like, KOO is a Chinese streaming site. Hello? That's why they're the only team that doesn't stream on a Zubu. Like, thick.
okay, should probably answer that note.
People are not smart.